When the beat drops, you know exactly what time it is, and it is playoff time, baby. Welcome into a special episode of the Blitz, where it's win or go home time for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm Evan Klosky, joined by David Shealy, who is back from Cancun with that trip with the Falcons.
Yeah, you know, that's out of pocket like Mike Vick, but I'm going to let you get away with it for right now. The Falcons don't deserve to be in playoffs. Let's keep the main thing here. We got a great game coming up on Sunday Night Football. We're talking about the biggest advantage for the Bucs heading into this game, how the bitter rivalry, I should say, between Mike Evans and Marshon Lattimore will seemingly never end. Plus, are the Bucs a sleeper Super Bowl contender?
All right, well, let's get started. This is the 10 and 10, the 10 most important storylines you need to know before the 8 o'clock kickoff between the Bucs and Commanders. Washington is one of the biggest surprises this season, winning 12 games. The team is also on a 5-game winning streak. As for the Bucs, Tampa Bay got hot after the bye week to win the NFC South for a 4th straight season. Also, no NFC team has a longer playoff streak than the Buccaneers, sitting at 5 straight years. When it comes to the Commanders, the franchise has lost its last 4 playoff games. You have to go back to 2006 for the last time Washington won the postseason, and that was a 17-10 victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, David.
Now, that is not the most recent playoff meeting between these two franchises, because back in 2021, the Buccaneers went up to face the then Washington football team to start the playoffs. It was a quiet, empty stadium because it was the COVID times. The Bucs won 31-23, and I think we all remember how the rest of that playoff went. At number 9, this is also a rematch of the regular season opener. The Bucs demolished the Commanders, winning 37-20. Baker Mayfield threw for 4 touchdowns in the contest. Jayden Daniels ran for 88 yards and 2 scores. While both squads rewatched that Week 1 game in the lead up to this matchup, there's also a realization that both teams are drastically different at this point in the year.
It's like, playing them in a new season, right? Because it's been so long since we played in Week 1. Obviously, a lot of their stuff has changed. They've evolved, as all teams have at this time of the year.
They've gotten really used to the system on both sides of the ball. They're playing confident. They're already talented. They got experience and they got young guys. And the quarterback's got a lot of games under his belt, and they're playing very good football.
At number 8, let's talk a little Jayden Daniels, as he will almost certainly be the Rookie of the Year. There is only one QB that has more rushing yards than Daniels, and that's Lamar Jackson. Only Lamar, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow have a higher QBR this season. This guy is a big problem, but he's shown cracks of that rookie wall these past 7 games, has thrown 7 picks during that time. He has also been sacked a total of 27 times. With that being said, we know Todd Bowles loves to blitz, and Daniels has done very well against the blitz this season. Daniels has scrambled 13% of the time against the blitz and tallied 203 yards, ranks number 1 in the NFL. He also has the most 20-yard completions against the blitz, number 1 in the NFL. Bowles will have to pick his spots here because the Bucs defense could get burned, David.
As for the offensive game plan, Liam Cohen will hope to successfully deploy the most balanced NFL offense. It's the only squad that ranks top 5 in both rushing and passing yards. The biggest advantage for the Bucs is that rushing attack, so expect lots of Bucky Irving. Washington ranks near the bottom of the league, allowing 4.8 yards per rush. Washington has also given up nearly 500 yards on the ground in its past 3 games. Also, shout out to Tristan Wirfs, only person in NFL history to earn AP first-team All-Pro honors at right and left tackle, Evan.
He didn't get his own day, though, like Mike Evans, right?
No, he did not.
I also want to mention Liam Cohen will not interview potential head coaching gigs until next week, the earliest, the middle of next week. So he's locked into this game. But what a moment that he helped create last week with Mike Evans reaching 1,000 yards on the final play of the contest.
This was one of the greatest moments in Raymond James Stadium history. He now ties Jerry Rice for the most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons at 11 years. At number 6, Mike Evans might be lucky that Marshon Lattimore was not with the Saints last week, but even when this man is traded to Washington, Mike cannot avoid this dude. And let's keep it a buck here. Lattimore is Mike's kryptonite. According to Pro Football Focus, the two have faced each other 11 times, and Mike has just 15 catches for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns against him. Evans has also earned 2 suspensions because of fights that have broken out. Now, I will say Lattimore is coming off a hamstring injury, and he's in a completely different system, so maybe that affects things, but all eyes will be on this battle.
I gotta be at my best because he's a really good player. Obviously, we've had a lot of matchups. We know each other really well.
The best versus the best, and that's what I look forward to. Just going against top opponents. I don't want nobody, they gonna be like, oh, he wasn't really that good. So I want people that's known to be good.
At number 5, playoff experience is on Tampa Bay's side. You can see on your screen right now, these 10 players all have played at least 8 postseason contests. All 10 also have a Super Bowl ring. The only one who didn't do it with the Buccaneers right there is Greg Gaines. So let's bring in James Yarko for our Locked On Bucs burning question of the weekend. James, Tampa Bay comes into the playoffs as the 3 seed. Do you feel like they have a path to New Orleans and making the Super Bowl for a 3rd time in franchise history?
Well, I think they certainly should be in the conversation, right? I mean, they are one of the playoff teams, and everybody that makes the playoffs has the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. But we're talking about a team that is the only team in the playoffs that's top 5 in the NFL in both passing offense and rushing offense. And not only that, the defense has quietly worked their way into the top 5 in run defense. That's not something I would have expected to say 2 or 3 months ago when they were, not playing well. This is a team that has really tightened up in the second half of games over the last 5 weeks. The defense has only allowed 9 points in the second half over the last 5 games. And they have an offense that can go toe-to-toe with any other offense in the NFL. It's about whether or not, these guys that we've seen the best of throughout the season, can they all put it together at the right time to really go on a serious run in the postseason.
So let's break this down some more, David, in a segment we'll call Swerve, Bend the Corner, or Whoa. There are 3 potential opponents next week for the Buccaneers if they win: the Eagles, the Rams, or the Vikings. And of those 3 teams, we have to say if that's a bad matchup for the Bucs, Swerve, a toss-up, Bend the Corner, or if we really like the Bucs in that contest, Whoa. So you have to choose one team for each, and David, you can start.
All right, first of all, that song is trash. Like, let's just be real.
Jello!
It's a trash song. I'm going to say Swerve on the Eagles. I know we all remember Rondé shutting down the vet, but otherwise, that city has not been friendly to the Bucs in the postseason, so Swerve there. The Vikings are been that corner. I think things actually even out in terms of matchups, especially if Sam Darnold looks like he did against Detroit. The Rams are the whoa, because I just like the Bucs against LA inside Ray J. That's pretty much all I got.
That's a very interesting thing that you like the Rams there the most.
Yeah, I feel like if you can get them coming off the week that they just had, they got to come all the way over here. Mm-hmm. I just like the Bucs at home, and I still think the Bucs are just a tough out.
Yeah, well, because my swerve is going to surprise you. I think that the Bucs do not want to see the Rams.
Okay.
I like their defense. Sean McVay would have his team ready against his protege, Liam Cohen. And if the Bucs offense doesn't do its part, it's going to be a really tough grind to make it to the Super Bowl. So that's a swerve. I'm bending the corner on Philly. Philly might be the most balanced team offensively and defensively in the NFC, but Todd Bowles knows how to get to Jalen Hurts. I think that game would be closer to a coin flip, despite Philly obviously being favored. As for the woe, give me the Vikings. Passing defense is not very good, and Minnesota has the biggest question at QB in the conference. At number 3, we have 2 of the greatest linebackers of their generation going head-to-head in this contest. Lavonte David for the Bucs and Bobby Wagner for the Commanders. David is the lone player in the NFL this season with 100-plus tackles, 5-plus sacks, and 3 or more forced fumbles. At 34 years old, the guy is still producing. Same goes for Bobby Wagner. 132 tackles this season, same age as Lavonte. Wagner will also make his 17th playoff appearance.
At number 2, much younger guy here, Yaya Diaby is starting to peak at the right time for this Bucs defense. He's coming off his first ever NFC Defensive Player of the Week honor after dominating the Saints in the regular season finale. Diaby was one of 4 players this season with 4-plus TFLs and 4-plus quarterback hits in a single game. You know the other guys on that list?
I would love to
Aiden
know.
Hutchinson, Trey Hendrickson, and Nick Bosa. That's pretty elite company there. Diaby only has 4.5 sacks this season, but more than half of them have come the past few games. And if the Bucs are making a deep run in the playoffs, Diaby surging on the outside will be a big reason why. So with one, let's finish up with our sideline segment all throughout the year. This has been an awful situation, but entering Sunday, hey, it doesn't look too bad. This is easily, Evan, the best injury report has looked. This is the best the injury report has looked all year. Leaving the practice field Friday, all 5 of these guys were listed as questionable. Yes, the team will be without guys like Chris Godwin, Servassier Dennis, Christian Izien, and Jordan Whitehead, so things are not perfect. But this ain't too shabby for week 19 of the season.
And my parlays of the week aren't too shabby either. Let's go into the all-out blitz. I've nailed mine back-to-back weeks, so this is what I got cooking. Baker Mayfield in a playoff game, all the adrenaline flowing. He's going to get some runs in there. Zach Ertz should eat against Tampa Bay's linebackers. Also, let's keep riding the hot hand. I got Jalen McMillan with a tutty.
I think we see plenty of rushing success on both sides. I'll take Jayden Daniels over his rushing yards. Bucky hits pay dirt at some point. He usually does. And because of the rushing success, I'm taking the under on Baker's passing yards.
As for what we got cooking on 10 Tampa Bay, just one game on CBS. That's in the AFC with Buffalo hosting the Denver Broncos. Another rookie QB making his first playoff appearance on the road with Bo Nix there. Checking out our Blitz picks record. David and I keep running side by side. We both have great records. I'm still 2 back of David as he has crushed it this season. David, because of that, you get the honors.
All right, so I've been saying it for a couple of weeks behind the scenes. I think Washington is a beatable team. We talked about all the luck they've had, like the game against the Bears or the game against the Eagles and whatever the heck Raheem Morris was doing there with the Falcons. But I think the luck runs out in Tampa Bay Sunday night. Go ahead and give me the Bucs 26-20.
As for me, I like the over in this contest. You're going under. I think Commanders are an overachieving team. You mentioned it. Rookie QB on the road. Washington's strength of schedule has not been good. I just think this is a great spot for the Buccaneers, who should be able to move the ball at will. But I'll play it a bit conservatively, picking a 28-25 final. That will do it for us on the Blitz. Remember, no matter what, we will have an episode next week. Hopefully, it's previewing a divisional round game, but if not, we'll put a bow on this season. Bucs and Commanders kick off at 8 o'clock Sunday night. That is David Shealy. I'm Evan Klosky. This is the Blitz. We'll see you at the same time or same place next weekend.